Okay, so we are going over the month of October. I'm really excited for the month of October because if you look at our nifty little schedule that we put together, our calendar, these are always available in the link under the astrology forecast dates. They're wonderful. The month of October, there's a lot of sun, so there's a lot of positive things happening. If you jumped on last month, you know that it was, well, actually, the month of September, you know that it was a little challenging. We had a lot of stuff come up as far as communication, trying to stay focused. There was every day there was something going on. Um, and that is true with astrology. Every day there will be something, some kind of transit happening in the sky, and it'll affect us somehow, especially if you know what your signs are, where your planets live, what houses they live in. If not, that's okay because we put this calendar together for you. So it's easy for you to kind of understand what's happening those days. We have a little key up in the corner and it'll show you like what days are positive, what days you need to ground, what days are good for your heart center, and then like what days you need to just give it to the universe and let the universe do it for you. So, October. It's looking pretty good. We've got some suns, we've got some hearts. Um, and I feel like September was challenging because there was a lot of, we were in Virgo season and the beginning of the month, it was like, stay focused, try to stay structured. And that's all about Virgo. Virgo signs are very structured, they're very detail oriented. So we really had to move into that season with the ideas, with implementing the ideas, with getting everything started and everything going. And then now we're into Libra season, which is all about balance. They're the scales, right? So September, it's been a month, but now we get to move into October, and October looks very promising. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to start here with the first. There's a couple days on here that I don't have anything marked on the calendar, but that's totally fine. Those were days that there was like nothing really big happening, just kind of like a regular day as usual. But what I try to do is mark those important days on here so you understand what could be happening with your emotions, what could be happening with your actions. Um, I like to print this out and put it on my regular calendar. So if I'm going through the day and I'm just like, why do I feel so irritated? I don't know what's going on. I can always look at that calendar and be like, okay, so this is happening, and that's why I could be feeling this way. These are also good if you're planning vacations, if you're planning to be speaking at your workplace. They're nice to just fill in what you're doing for the month and then see what's happening that same day, and you can kind of prepare for it. So let's see what's happening on the 1st of October. 1st of October is on Tuesday. Can you believe that it's October already? I love October, but I'm also a Scorpio moon. So this is why it's nice to know where those placements live because your moon represents your emotional being. And since I am a Scorpio moon, I feel like Scorpio season, it's just a really nice cleansing emotional time for me. So it's nice to know what your moon is and how you can play around with it with the calendar and the year. Okay. So on the first, you can see that we have a sun and we have our leaf. Okay. So if you look up at the top right corner, you can see that key right there with all of those emojis there that we have listed. So our sun is our positive day ahead, and then the leaf is going to be slow down and ground. So this is kind of like a day where it's like, oh, it's positive. Okay, but remind yourself that you need to ground. Okay. So on Tuesday the 1st, we have Moon in Virgo, trine Pluto in Capricorn. I'll also let you know because astrology is like another language. It is a language. So some of the wording might be confusing, like what does trine mean? What is, so I'll let you know when we go through this. So moon in Virgo, okay, that means the moon is living in the sign of Virgo. Trine. Trine is when there's a triangle in the chart, okay? It's a very, very good thing. So this is why we're having a positive day here because we're in a trine, right? And then Pluto in Capricorn right now. Pluto is in Capricorn. It is in retrograde. Pluto is in retrograde. But you'll see here that something's going to happen this month that's going to change that. Okay. So on this day, this is a serious approach to make more progress in your life. Okay. So you may get to the core of something and empower yourself. Okay. So this is where, it sounds really good, right? But we need to ground ourselves to get there, especially with Pluto in Capricorn, because Capricorn is the male dominant part of the zodiac. Okay. So this is where you need to empower yourself. That's all Capricorn energy. It's all about empowering. It's power. So on the first, we start off pretty good, right? The first, Moon in Virgo, trine Pluto in Capricorn. We've got a nice trine there to help us. Okay, on Wednesday we have another sun and we have a heart. Okay, so this is our new moon in Libra and a Libra solar eclipse. We are in eclipse season. Like it is, whew, it can be heavy, it can be like a whirlwind, right? But we've got Libra to help us with this. Why? Why is it helping us? Because these are the scales. This is going to help us balance everything. Okay. So with that, new moon, new beginnings, right? This is when we want to like put intentions out there for new beginnings. We want to look at how we can balance things. Okay. We want to look at relationships. There's that heart up there, right? Because Libra is all about relationships. Where do we find that balance? This can be like romantic relationships. This can be friendships. This can be relationships at work. Um, any type of relationship that you can think of. That's what we're looking at here. So that's our new moon. And then we have this solar eclipse. So this is where we enter into new partnerships. Okay. This is new relationships, new alliances, new commitments. So this is a really exciting time to bring in new opportunities. And it's also going to help us be a little bit more pleasant, a little bit more diplomatic, because this is the Libra energy. They are the diplomats. They are the ones that they don't really like conflict. When there's conflict around, they are the peacemakers. Okay. So you can see how the second is really good. We're starting off to a great start here. Actually, the whole week is just really nice and cleansing, especially with that solar eclipse. Eclipse seasons, this is when we get to shed a layer of skin, right? This is all about that transformation. And especially with the solar one in Libra, it's a beautiful combination. So this is going to be a really, really, really good day to help, bring in these new alliances in our life. If you're thinking about doing something and you're like, this person is really good at calculating, this, and this, or this person's really good at numbers and I need that in my business right now. That is the time to do it. Okay. So that's the 2nd of October. On the 3rd, which is a Thursday, we have a sun and we have our star. So this is, positive day and let the universe guide you. Okay. And that is our moon in Libra, trine Jupiter in Gemini. So we have another trine. This is like, I don't want to say it's uncommon, but it's nice to have a trine so close to one another. So this is going to help us open up a little bit more to those options. We're going to see what we can find in here. Okay. So we're going to be able to have those opportunities come to us because that moon in Libra is trining Jupiter in Gemini, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Okay. This is our lucky planet. Um, if you're into, astrology, even Kundalini, whatnot, we like wearing rings on our index fingers because our index finger represents Jupiter. So they say if you wear a ring on your index finger, that helps bring the abundance. It helps bring in those manifestations. So that's what we're looking at on Thursday. Okay. The universe is going to help lead us to where we need to get to. And I say this every month, but these these calendars really do tell a story. There is kind of like a defining theme for each month, and the stars are giving us that. So Tuesday, Wednesday, it's like, okay, we have the opportunity to bring in new people in our lives to help us. Thursday, that new person is the universe. Okay. So I probably would, if you're into crystals, get that tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is a great crystal for Jupiter. It's also a really good crystal for Gemini. So yeah, I will probably be wearing my tiger's eye on Thursday the 3rd. But embrace that Jupiter energy. It's going to be really nice. Okay. On the 4th, we have a sun. Another positive day ahead. So we have Venus in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. Trine, trine, trine. It's all about the trines this week, right? So Venus in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. What does that mean? So this is where we can take responsibilities and commitments a little bit more seriously. Okay. Um, and other people are going to be able to appreciate this. We can manage our responsibilities well, and it's a good time to take leadership on this day. Okay. So our sun, our positive day, because we've got that trine, Venus and Scorpio is very, very passionate. Okay. A lot of nice, like transformative energy here. Scorpios are all about transforming themselves. Okay. And that's what we want to do on Friday, the 4th. We want to transform ourselves into our better selves. And then other people around us are going to see that. So anything that we have, if it's like any type of commitment, or if it's any type of idea that we are like setting into place, this is a good day to get it started. Take the leadership role. Okay. And then on Saturday, the 5th, we have a heart there because our moon is in Scorpio, conjunct Venus in Scorpio. So let's talk about the word conjunct here when it comes to astrology. If you look at the sentence, moon in Scorpio, conjunct Venus in Scorpio, we've got two things in Scorpio, right? So that means that they're sitting on top of one another. The moon is going to be on top of Venus in the same sign that day, okay? So conjunct means that whenever one planet is sitting on top of another, okay? These are really good days. I love whenever stuff gets like in conjunct with one another because I feel like this is like alignment. This is where the universe is just like, okay, we're going to align something here. So, what is the universe aligning for us on the 5th? This is telling us that working with a partner is going to benefit us. Okay. And we can enjoy having someone around to help us with our insight, to help us with like, getting motivated. And you can see the week has kind of already led us there. I feel like, at this point, we know who that person is. That person is going to come in and be like, what can I take off your plate? Don't you kind of love whenever someone just asks you to do, well, they don't have to, but it's nice to hear someone say, hey, I see that you're in it, and I see that you're doing a lot right now. What can I do to help you? What can I take off your plate? It feels wonderful. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like you can breathe again. That's what Saturday the 5th is going to feel like. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, I have help. This is amazing. And take it. Please take it, because I know a lot of us feel like maybe we have to do it all. On the 5th, please let someone help you out, because that's what this day is all about. Okay. We're moving to the 6th of October. The 6th of October, we do have a leaf there, which is grounding. And we have our first little lightning bolt. See, if we were doing this for September, that lightning bolt would be like all over the first week. But on the 6th, we get our first one. And what does that mean? So, that leaf is telling us to slow down. Let's ground ourselves. Let's find the tools we need to ground ourselves. And that lightning bolt is telling us, hey, this is an electric kind of day. So we need to make a change. Okay. Like we need to change something here. So on the 6th, it's Mercury in Libra square Mars in Cancer. Here's the square. Okay. That square means that it doesn't feel too good. Okay. Where this is lined up, where Mercury in Libra is and where Mars in Cancer is, it's squaring off. Okay. So it's not a very comfortable place to be. Okay. So on this day, on the 6th, this is where frustrations can be high. That is all Mars and Cancer. This is my placement. I have my Mars and Cancer. It's something that I just, it's a tough one. I feel for anyone who has Mars and Cancer when it's a little turbulent. When it's not turbulent, it's beautiful and it's magnificent, just like everything else. But when it's in a situation like this is where it can be very frustrating. So frustrations can be high. Um, this is like a day where it's easy to get into a fight with someone. So this is where we really want to watch our words, because Mercury, right? Mercury is in place here. Mercury is our communication planet. So we want to be very mindful of our wording on this day. Okay. So if you think about it, now that we know that we have that coming up on Sunday the 6th, what can we do? Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to, keep this day open to just maybe clean my apartment, do something like outside, maybe alone, kind of take more time for myself, ground myself, whatever that looks like for you. It's probably going to be a good day to do that on the 6th. Usually when there's a lot of like stuff coming up with communication and stuff, sometimes, I mean, it's easy for me because I don't live with anyone, but sometimes when there's communication days like this, I tend to look at it like, okay, maybe I should do some inner work, or like maybe I should do some, work that just involves myself and just focus on the self and really ground. So that is on the 6th. Watch those words before you say them, Day. And then on the 7th, we have our grounding leaf here, and we have our universe little emoji there on the 7th. And it's because we have our moon in Sagittarius square Saturn in Pisces. So here we have another square. It's important to look at these words whenever we're looking at the calendar, because then you kind of know, you're going to know what days are going to have the leaves. If you've done these with us for a couple months now, you kind of know when it says square, there's going to be a grounding or there's going to be a lightning bolt. And that's this day on the 7th. So this is when it's going to be a good day to take time away and relax. Okay. So on the 7th, this is where we really need to just have a chill day. Okay. We need to chill out on the 7th. It's a Monday. So I all of all the days of the week, it's a Monday. But we really do need to just relax, okay? And we need to make sure that we give ourselves time and patience on this day. Okay. Moon in Sagittarius can be a little much. Sagittarius, they're on the move all the time. They're constantly going. And then square Saturn and Pisces. Saturn is that planet that teaches us stuff. So this is where we really just need to unwind. We might feel, with that moon in Sagittarius, we might feel a little anxious. We might feel like we're not doing enough. We really need to tap into maybe some of that self-love on the seventh. So the sixth and seventh look a little rocky, but this is where it's like, okay, if we already know this, what are we going to do about it? Right? So this is where we can play with the transits and we can work these transits before they work us. So on the 8th. We're moving over to the 8th because I see a heart emoji there. This is where, the week is starting to get a little better, a little better. We had like 2 days of a little bumpy, and now we're going to Venus in Scorpio, trine Mars in Cancer. Yes, we have another trine. Woohoo. So this is when we can enjoy time with loved ones. It's also, like I said before, Scorpio, that Venus in Scorpio can be very, very passionate. So we can be passionate about our love. We can also feel a little bit more creative and inspired on this day. Okay. So really good day to, um, be around loved ones, feel loved by someone else, take it all in. And then also have that extra creative energy and to be able to feel inspired because that's the beautiful part of Mars and Cancer. Where Mars and Cancer can be rocky and frustrating, it can also be very loving because Cancer is the feminine part of the zodiac, right? And we've got that like fiery Mars. So it's a really good day. It's a really good day for that heart center. Get that heart chakra stuff going on the 8th. Okay. We're moving to the 9th. This is a big one. Jupiter retrograde begins. Okay. So this is when, we have 5 planets in retrograde this year, and it all kind of like happens around this time. So Jupiter finally is going to go into retrograde here on the 9th. So I do have a grounding leaf here, and I do have the universe because I feel like retrogrades kind of, retrogrades are a nice mirror. It's a nice reflection. So a lot of people tend to freak out whenever a planet goes into retrograde. You hear all the time about Mercury retrograde. People freak out. They say not to sign any contracts, not to make any commitments, because of communication stuff, right? But I really do believe that those retrogrades help us take a look at what we've been through since the last retrograde and what needs a little work. Okay. So I kind of feel like it's a nice refresh, it's a nice cleansing. And so now we have Jupiter retrograde on the 9th. So Jupiter is in Gemini. So what's going to happen? It's going to fall back into Taurus. Okay. This will happen until February 5th of 2025. Okay. So Jupiter will be in retrograde till February 5th, 2025. It's usually like a 4 month retrograde for Jupiter. Um, it's going to be mostly in Taurus. Okay. It's going to go back in Taurus. So it's kind of like time travel, right? It's kind of like, okay, we get to go in this little like capsule. We get to go back in time and we get to reflect on what happened. Okay. So with that being in Taurus, our money sign, okay, are like, this is where like we have like all our, all our morals and we can kind of reflect on that. primarily looking at financial stuff. Okay. Maybe like what can we do better to get our finances like on track? Okay. Um, and I kind of love that. I kind of love how we get like a second chance, you know? Um, I wrote something down here and I love it. So like it came up to me with Jupiter retrograde, and it's a chance to make your own luck. And I love that. We get to do that. We get to do that. So I don't ever think retrogrades are a bad thing. I think they're beautiful. I love the retrogrades. So this one kicks off in Gemini, like I said. It is going to go back into Taurus, but it's where like, you know, opportunities might slow down, okay? But it's okay because it's going to give us time to reflect on how we can make things better and primarily financially. So it's giving us another opportunity to do that. 4 months, we all know, goes by super quick. So that will end on February 5th, and we can move forward with our finances, with, you know, whatever comes through during this retrograde. Really good time to reflect on this stuff. Okay, so that is on the 9th. That's a big one. We skipped the 10th because the 10th, it's, you know, we got a first quarter moon in Capricorn. It's not really, you know, something that you need to write down or anything, but it's a more like disciplined approach, where we can be a little bit more disciplined in our actions. Um, it's a time to be a little bit more practical. So that is on the 10th. You don't really have to write that down. But the 11th, we've got a sun and we have a leaf. So this is a positive day and also a grounding day. This is Pluto direct in Capricorn. Finally. Okay. So another really big day. Okay. Pluto has been in retrograde. Okay. But Pluto has lived in Capricorn our whole lives. Okay. It is, whew, it is something, man. It's very, very powerful. It's very structured. If you talk to astrologers about Pluto and Capricorn, they always talk about politics because it can represent that. Because we are talking about Capricorn, right? Capricorn is the male, it's the male part of the um zodiac. It's the father of the zodiac, right? Pluto is, you know, it can be a little cold. It can make us feel a little drowsy, a little like sometimes it can bring on some depression, but it's very structured in Capricorn, okay? So we got a little glimpse of Pluto moving into Aquarius, okay? And Pluto in Aquarius is like the opposite, okay? This is where structures start to dissolve, okay? And this is where the collective starts to come in. So this is like more of, you know, when we talk about Aquarius, we're talking about like-minded people, okay? These are the people that work well with other like-minded people. This is why we talk about the collective when we talk about Aquarius, because these people don't think the same as everyone else. They have a different way of living. Okay. So we had a little taste of that. And then what happened? Pluto went into retrograde. So it went back into Capricorn. Well, look at this. On the 11th, we're moving forward. Okay. Instead of moving backwards, it is moving forward. So we're finally starting to get out of that Capricorn energy. Okay. Also, you can see it's October 11th. And it's around that time of year where, November is around the corner and elections and stuff like that. You might see a huge whammy happen. Okay. A lot of astrologers say, like, whoever you think is going to win is not going to end up winning. Like, there's going to be something happening here. So I put the sun and the grounding here because it's a good day to have Pluto finally get out of retrograde. It's finally moving forward, and that's what we want to do. It's time to move forward. Okay. So we need to really focus on our goals here. We need to go into that direction. Okay. We can wrap up that cycle too of Pluto in Capricorn. Okay. It's finally time to move on. That's basically what the 11th is telling us. Okay, here we go. We're going to put something back in and focus for you. Follow it, keep going towards your goals, keep going towards your dreams. We got you. Okay. But also keep grounded. Okay. Keep yourself grounded while you're doing it. So that is on the 11th. On the 12th, we have a sun and we have our universe emoji up there. We have another trine, my friends. Like, wow. It's a trine month. It's beautiful. I love it. So that's the moon in Aquarius trine sun in Libra. So this is where we can do what puts us at ease in healthy ways. Okay. And we can start feeling good about ourselves. We can really kind of just, we can set the mood here because that moon in Aquarius is telling us, okay, it's time to be comfortable. It's time to be comfortable. Sun in Libra, you know, there's your balance, there's your diplomacy. This is this is good. This is like it's time for us to finally feel good about ourselves. We've been through a lot. This is a day where maybe you want to treat yourself, however that looks. But, we want to really focus on what we've done to get here. Okay. And the universe is going to make us feel that way on the 12th. It's going to be a really good day for us. Okay. So we're already like moving on to the 13th. And I feel like this month is already just super yummy. So on the 13th, we have a grounding leaf and we have a heart. So this is Mercury in Libra. I'm sorry. No. That's my bad. It's Sun in Libra trine Jupiter in Gemini. Okay. Sun in Libra trine Jupiter in Gemini. So this is a day that we get to expand our life in new ways. Okay. This means like exploring new places and having new experiences. And it's also us being very optimistic and hopeful. Okay. So that's Sun in Libra trine. We got that trine again. Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is a planet that rules Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius love to travel. This might be like, a good time to be like, let's go on a trip. Let's figure out where we're going. Or maybe this is the day that you go on a trip. It's gonna be it's gonna be a really good time to experience something new. Okay. And then we have Mercury entering Scorpio. Okay. So Mercury has been in Libra, and my mentor just posted, she makes these cool little reels on Instagram where she does like Mercury in Libra or Mars in Cancer, and like she shows something. She did a reel on Mercury in Libra, and someone was just talking love language the whole time because Libra is governed by Venus, right? The planet of love. So that's what we're in right now, Mercury in Libra. But now on the 13th, Mercury enters Scorpio. So this means we can dig deeper, okay? What I love about my Scorpio moon is that I can be very mysterious. Like I'm always like, "Oh, I have a surprise for you," but like I won't say what it is, and everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, you're so mysterious." That's my Scorpio. Um, it's like the investigative side of things. Um, again, like I said, it's very passionate. It's very, very passionate, very intense. Um, and it's it's good because it's dominating in Mercury, because Mercury is the planet of communication, right? So this is a good time where others can take us a little bit more seriously. Okay. That is Mercury in Scorpio. So it's nice. I like Mercury in Scorpio. Okay. We are moving on to the 14th. So on the 14th, we have our Sun in Libra square Mars in Cancer. So there's that word square. Okay. We know it's going to be a little problematic. So let's see what's going on here. So this is whenever something is probably going to get under our skin this day, okay? We can snap a little easily on this day. So we want to try to keep ourselves physically busy, okay? Keep ourselves physically busy. Don't lash out. Just, keep focused on something that's going to keep us a little busy. This is like, do you have a hobby? No? Okay, maybe find a hobby or something like that on the 14th. If you do have a hobby, then maybe that's what you need to get into. If it's painting, if it's, doing like needlework, cross stitching or anything like that. Um, the 14th would probably be a good day to go ahead and pick that hobby up again. Because we have that Sun in Libra, and then we talked about Mars and Cancer. It's just Mars and Cancer. It's a touchy transit there. But if we know how to work it, it'll be fine. So this is where find something physically to do. Taking that walk, if you like to run, go for that run. Um, it's fall. Go look at those leaves if you're somewhere where you get, the fall foliage and enjoy nature on the 14th. On the 15th, we have a leaf and we have a heart. Okay. So this is Venus and Scorpio, trine Neptune and Pisces. There's the trine again. It's unbelievable how many times trine is on this calendar. It's so good. Okay. So this is where compassion can help us grow closer with a loved one. Okay. And we can be a little bit more understanding. So this is where we just need to show some compassion on this day, okay, on the 15th. Um, and this is like, with a loved one, this could be someone in your family, this could be a spouse, someone who you really care about. We need to show a little bit more compassion on this day, on the 15th, okay? So that's why I put the grounding thing there. But um, if we do this, it can make our love a little bit more understanding to them, and that's why I put the heart there. So you got that trine. It's amazing. There's so many of them this month. Okay. We are going to skip over the 16th and move to the 17th. So on the 17th, we have our sun and we have our grounding leaf. Okay. So here we go. Venus enters Sagittarius. And we also have our full moon. Okay. So Venus in Sagittarius, okay? Venus is the planet of love and relationships, and it's entering the sign of Sagittarius, okay? So this is where we can make more time for adventure, okay? This is a juicy little combination here, okay? We can be a little bit more daring in love, okay? Um, we may want more space to do our own thing though, okay? Where there's like there's less strings attached because Sagittariuses, they don't like to be like held down into anything, okay? Sagittarius people are party people, okay? They like their freedom and they like to do their own thing. They are ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance. They like to enjoy life to the fullest, right? So it's going to be an interesting kind of play. I mean, it really is play. I feel like Venus and Sagittarius is very playful. It's a little spicy, so I love that. And then we have that Aries full moon. So that Aries full moon is coming into play. Um, this is where we really want to take action. You know, Aries is all about action. Aries is all about leadership. It's fire. It is 100% fire. So we can use our emotions to inspire us to take the initiative on this day, okay? So a very positive day. I like to put a grounding leaf on any day that we have a full moon because I don't know how everyone else is here, but the full moon kind of gets me going and like I do have to ground myself. It's a lot of energy. Especially on this day where we've got like two big things happening. We've got a planet entering a sign for the first time, and then we have an Aries full moon. So enjoy it, but make sure you ground. So we're skipping the 18th and we're going to go to the 19th. So on the 19th, we have our grounding leaf and we have our universe. So this is Moon in Taurus, trine Pluto in Capricorn. There's our other trine. So this is where we want to focus on something we need to know more about. Okay. We can discover more information and we can use it to our advantage. Okay. So we almost want to like, just kind of focus on something and just kind of like, investigate it. Moon in Taurus is like, that is all about, it is about focusing, but it's like, it's more about focusing on, the beauty of things. Okay. And then, of course, there's that Pluto and Capricorn. So it's just all about, just kind of honing in on something, finding the beauty in it and investigating it and seeing what it can do for you. It's a very investigative day on the 19th. Okay. On the 21st, we have a grounding leaf. And that is because we have our moon in Gemini square Neptune in Pisces. So there's the square, meaning that it might be a little difficult day, okay? So this is where daydreaming can take over. It might be a hard day to get down to reality. So this might be a day where like we're in like 5D all day, but we need to come down to 3D, right? Um, so we want to leave the mundane stuff for whenever we have better focus this day, okay? So really just concentrate on being in the now on the 21st. Neptune and Pisces, Neptune lives in Pisces, right? But this is Pisces energy. They can daydream all day. Sometimes they live in a completely different reality. And it's beautiful for them. It might be a little hard for someone else to understand it, but this is where, you know, we do want to take a step back and move a little bit back into reality on the 21st. On the 22nd, we have our sun and we have our lightning bolt. And why is that? Well, my friends, because the sun is entering Scorpio. So Scorpio season begins on the 22nd. Woohoo. I love Scorpio season. Um, but like I said, my moon is in Scorpio. So I feel like my emotional self is a little better. Like my mental well-being is better in Scorpio season. I can think a little clearer. Um, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Scorpio season. But so what does that mean? Okay, so Scorpio season begins. So this is a serious time to work on transformations. Again, like I said, It's all about transformations, okay? Um, and when we can be very intense, very strong, very passionate. What I will say about Scorpio too is, it's interesting that Scorpio season happens during Halloween or Samhain or whatever you may believe in, because I do feel like Scorpio season is a great time to connect with our ancestors. It's a really good time to tap in with them, however you do that, in meditation or whatnot. Really connect to our ancestors. This is the time of year where everyone says the veil is thin. We can communicate a little bit more. That is Scorpio energy. If anyone is into tarot or anything like that, we know that Scorpio rules the death card, right? And that doesn't mean death, like actual death. It means like rebirth, right? So this is a time of year where we get to be reborn, in a spiritual way. Um, it's really beautiful. It's like we get to transform ourselves. We get to go a little deep. This is where like shadow work can come through. Reach out to their ancestors, help us with our shadow work. Um, yeah, this is all Scorpio season. So that's why I have the positive sun there, but I also have that lightning bolt because something will change. Something always kind of happens during Scorpio season because we're we're kind of, we're shedding the skin of something from the past. It's a good time of year to just be reborn again. Okay. So that happens on the 22nd. On the 24th, we have our sun and we have our universe, okay? So this is a sextile, okay? Mars in Cancer, sextile, Uranus in Taurus. Sextile positions feel comfortable, okay? This is where that alignment and those transits feel comfortable, okay? So this is a positive thing. So this is where we can feel more motivated to take the initiative with change, okay? We're in Scorpio season here, right? So we're talking about change. Good time to take the initiative here on this day. Um, if we do this, here's the really cool thing. It can open up new doors for us, okay? So we can be more independent and we can like progress with our work, okay? So the 24th is a really, really good day if we can accept the change. If we can accept the change, it can open doors for us. And that's why I have the universe in there. So the 24th, really, really nice day. On the 25th, we have our sun, positive day ahead because we have our moon in Leo, sextile Jupiter in Gemini. Remember, we said sextile is where the transits feel really nice, okay? So this is where optimism can help open up more options for us. And we can feel excited about new experiences. Like there's a lot of like trine, sextile, Jupiter stuff happening here, right? So abundance, expansion, this is where we get to make the change. We're talking about Jupiter being in retrograde, you know, and where, I said, we get to make the change ourselves. We get to control that. So this is just another opportunity on the 25th to let us let that optimism help us open more options for us. I love October. It's so good. Okay, on the 27th, we have our grounding leaf and our lightning bolt. And that's because we have Moon in Virgo opposite Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so there's opposite, which means exactly what it means. It's an opposition, okay? So there can be a lot on our plate on this day, okay? there can be so much stuff on our plate that we have to tackle. We might get overwhelmed, okay, on the 27th. So this is when we need to delegate. Delegate what we can, okay? And hold off on what's not really important. This is where we really need to just, be that Virgo who maybe makes that list because Virgos love making to-do lists, right? Maybe this is the day that we need to do that. Okay. There's so much happening right now. Like, I don't know where to begin. Okay, let me write down what's going to be the most important thing to do today and what's the least important thing that I don't have to do today. That's going to happen on Sunday, the 27th. Okay. So it might be good to like make a little list there. On the 28th, we have our sun and we have our universe. So this is Mars in Cancer, trine Neptune in Pisces. There's that trine again. Okay. So we know it's going to be positive. So this is where spiritual ventures may be presented to us. Okay. On the 28th. And we can take action quickly on it. Okay. Because we got that Mars in Cancer, right? Mars is all about action because Mars rules Aries, right? So action planet. We can also be motivated and we can pursue creative projects. Okay, that's on the 28th. It could be a very spiritual day for us. A spiritual venture may be presented to us. And we can also pursue our creative projects. Okay, that's on the 28th. We skip the 29th and we're going to move to the 30th. So on the 30th, we have our grounding leaf and we have our lightning bolt. This is Mercury in Scorpio, opposite Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so there's the opposition again. So this is where it might be difficult to focus. Okay, we may be thinking a little too far ahead. Okay, we might be like in the head a little too much. We can let our mind wander a little, but we don't want to cage it. Okay, so on the 30th, we really need to just kind of get out of our heads. Okay, that's that whole Mercury situation. You've got Uranus in there. Uranus is a planet. It's like lightning. It's real quick. It can turn on real quick. It can turn off real quick. So we want to take advantage of that. If we feel like we're in the head too much on the 30th, how are we going to get out of that? Okay. So this is where, it's going to be difficult to focus, right? Because we're in the head. How are we going to focus? I will say a really good crystal to use is fluorite. Fluorite is a focus crystal. I know people who give fluorite tumbles to their kids and put them in their book bags and stuff like that when they go to school because it's known to help us focus. So, you can do that. You can also, do the things that, are going to keep us a little on it mentally. Maybe focus on something like, is it like puzzles? Is it, something that just is going to keep our mind going? Maybe, just sit and read a book or something like that. But we don't want to be on our heads in this day. When we feel like we're in our head on the 30th, find a thing that's going to help us focus. Okay. And then on the 31st, which is Halloween, it's also Samhain, whatever you believe in. We have a sun and we have the universe. And that is because we have another trine. This is Mercury in Scorpio, trine Neptune in Pisces. Okay. So this is where our imagination can soar. Okay. We can enjoy focusing on creative projects and ventures. So the 31st is when we do want our imagination to work with us. So any ideas that you had, if you're like sitting and you're like, you know what, I was daydreaming about like, this space and, maybe putting in like a healing center or whatever. Let that imagination go. Like put that imagination into action. That's on the 31st. Um, I didn't put it on the 31st, but it's when the moon enters Scorpio. I'm just saying that because it's kind of cool that it's happening on the 31st because there's your mystery, there's your, it's a very Halloweeny thing, moon in Scorpio. So yeah, it's something that you're probably going to enjoy on the 31st. So, okay. That is the month of October. I really hope that you guys are excited about it as in October as much as I am. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for us to transform ourselves into the person that we're really meant to, to move forward with. And maybe we can let some things go in October and we can find that path. So, okay, guys, that is going to be it. I will see you at the end of October and we'll be doing November. Thanks, guys.